He looks like a demon. He looks like a devil, a demon. He looks like something from beyond this realm, and you've seen some shit. You have. But he's looking at you, and your sense motive is putting off a stranger danger right now. The way he's looking at you is like, this motherfucker might kill me.
I'm gonna put my hand on my dagger, be like, hey, Cort, kind of bathhouse is this anyway?
Click, motherfucker.
Wait a minute, what kind of bathhouse is this?
Well, we got the will from the old owners way back before I joined everyone here, but it's kind of like almost kind of like a guild house for us.
It's a bathhouse in name only, is what.
Oh, we forgot to drain the blood from the tubs.
Oh my god. That was the most
Are
like
we being
cowboy
serious
Bill
about that
response
one?
I have ever heard. Wait a minute. What kind of bathhouse is this? That was just too good, dude. Ooh.
But no, Jacob, well, it's a bathhouse in name alone. This was a bathhouse at one time, but it's become the somewhat headquarters of the Order of the Shield and Soul.
So the water kind of turned you the way you are, or was that just something I was thinking nightmares?
Father's a demon, mother's apparently an Aasimar.
I have to walk away. This is fucking killing me.
I took after my dad, apparently.
You don't say. Got the fatherly features around you. Looks like masculine looking, I suppose. I
For a
kind of like
crab.
hold my dagger up, be like, "What business do you have with me? Why was I brought here?"
We're just gonna kind of,
I have no idea who you are. In fact, Cort, what is his business here?
Well, he said he wanted to meet some new friends, so I brought him to meet my friends, and then you guys continued to be you guys.
You didn't bring me here to trick me, did you?
Cort's just gonna kind of look at him with like the naive face of like a young doe. Like you're looking at this like young thing, and you're like, "Did you want to kill me?" And he just looks at you and goes, "What?" Like what?
No offense to Cort, but the man's too stupid to have an evil bone in his body.
Cort's gonna point to the
And-
giant sword in the corner.
And
I'm
is a knight.
not really less direct.
But like it or not, he is a knight. As for myself, I'm a lieutenant of the town's guard. So don't let my looks put you off too far.
So
Come, have a seat, and I figure once the others are done with their business, we can talk about just why you're here.
Town guards in controlled by
Can
a
I
demon. The mayor's a fucking beholder. The town was besieged by vampires. The richest person's a dragon.
Well, the richest as far as you know.
The one
On
who
the
keeps the
upside-
riches
Well,
in,
wait. On the
physical
upside,
objects.
we didn't mention the dragon.
Yet.
On the upside, you missed the rainy season.
That's fair, yeah.
Got a
I'm
point.
You
gonna
got that covered.
I kind of like flip my dagger and sheath it, be like, well, I guess that explains all the crazy that was supposed to be going on here. Why does everything seem so normal outside, though?
Nothing's really normal here. Fair warning.
Well, as I understand it, we're somewhat responsible for a lot of the crazy.
The town's recovering from a vampire attack
Vampires.
and dragons.
And
Vampire
we're gonna let that
children.
linger there. And he says, and dragons, and we're gonna
And then-
pause. We're gonna pause that right there, and we're gonna pass the camera back to the other two. This is gonna head over immediately. As the camera turns, you see the one crooked up eye of confusion from vampires and dragons over Daniel's face.
Good old V&D.
As it moves directly over to Thelsa and Ulhime. You move into the rear room, and Thelsa seems to have brought back with her what looks to be some sort of box or crate that's covered in a blanket of sorts or a robe. Not sure what it is. Either way, you can tell it's linen.
Ulhime pulls the shield off of the table, and he kind of just gently sets it against the wall. And he puts his hand out, I guess, to kind of just assist her, just to kind of leverage the bottom, just so she's not holding most of the weight anymore. And he helps her place it down.
Yeah, I'd just put it right down on the table. Then I'd take the covering off, and I'd look to Ulhime and say, I know we just came into possession of this, but I think you might want to have a look at it, and maybe someone more magically inclined, even, because I had a look into it, and well, I'll just let you see for yourself. Then I'll open the box and I'll use both hands to pick this thing out, because it weighs as much as I do.
It's a fairly tricky mechanism. It functions largely today similar to what you would expect out of a blood tester. So like if you have to test for like your sugar levels. So there is a spot where you hover, and as you press down, there is a small jab. It is blood synced, however, to specifically Thelsa. You can try this all day long and it will stab you and never open, but it matches her blood. She can open it. The apparatus will open, and she reaches down and she draws a grapefruit-sized ruby.
You know, when I was thinking about helping you with your convocation, I thought about picking up a ruby myself to help you out with this. That is a lot bigger than what I had in mind.
Me as well. However, I think it's more than just a ruby. I'm gonna hold it closer to his face. Look into it.
I will don my magical spectacles and detect magic.
When you put on this field of vision, detect magic, as it's been seen hundreds of times before, your eyes almost seem to have these inner lids that seem to palpate over the top and wrap, covering your natural field of vision and unveiling to you these runic marks and these lines of magic that seem to weave into the world around you. Some places it seems to be much thinner, almost non-existent. Other locations or items seem to be heavily wrapped. And this is very heavily wrapped.
It's a seal, from what it looks like.
And from what I understand, there's something inside. When I looked into it, I saw someone bound in chains, but I could not really tell who it was.
He kind of looks up at her, like he's still close to the ruby, like leaning in, but he looks up at her and kind of thinks, huh. And then he'll try to peer in to see if he can see what she saw.
Are you peering through the magical spectrum?
Yeah. I would still try to peer to see if I can...
incapable of seeing. Okay. It's literally, it's created this harbor of intricately woven net of runes of magic from different schools of magic. Everything here is very, very, very intricate. And you can tell that if you tried to, much like a bomb, if you tried to disassemble these and you did it in the wrong order, one, it would destroy the ruby, and it also might destroy the user.
You would see Ulhime's like the light in his eyes like fade, and then just goes back to gold as he turns off his detect magic.
Peering back into the normal spectrum for you, which for all people seems very odd. Your eyes emitting this golden light glow and hue, the same way that you would expect a lighthouse or a beacon. And as you pull the ruby, this grapefruit-sized ruby, to your eyes, much, much closer, it just looks like a ruby until you begin to spin it. Very slow at first. But the moment that you begin to spin and rotate this, the shapes, the figures inside seem to almost create a convex room. Something incredibly convoluted. Like a maze, a labyrinth. And you can see down into the top of it. Continuing to shift it, you know that there is someone stuck in this room. They're bound by chains, hooks, rending their flesh, leaving them stuck here. A silhouette of a figure. You cannot tell if it's man or woman. You see no defining marks. But there is someone inside.
Can I make a? Oh wait, I can't see
Nope.
anything.
No,
but
this
wrong.
is
Gotcha,
just
never
me
mind.
and
Yeah, I don't trust you.
True.
I don't even know your name. I was in the
True.
other room by the time you said it.
As you're focusing in on this, you hear from the opposite room, "What kind of bathhouse is this place?" It
that
draws
would
your
probably break
attention
his
back.
conscience. Yeah. Because I'm assuming even like fucking putting my eye on, I'm like, is it glowing? Nothing happens with it. He'll look back up at Thelsa. There is means to decipher at least what's in it, but other than seeing that there's someone or something sealed inside, I'm not sure what you want to do with it.
Preferably figure out who's inside, and if it's someone we do not want to release, then return it to the bank, because despite it being beautiful, it's just
Too much.
yeah, it's dangerous.
Well, it's your call. If you feel like it's unsafe, then we can send it back, but if you want to try to manage this, then
I'd like to figure out who or what's inside, but I have no idea on how to get that started. I was thinking about seeing the mayor. I know he's highly magical,
we can try that.
but I don't know how much he can help.
Hearing Cort then mention the vampires and dragons, he kind of like looks back, and you see like the eyes like lull out and kind of focus back over towards the door.
As you turn to focus on that door, your eyes catch the box, this crate, this apparatus that carried this. It's a suitcase of sorts. And it looks bizarre, especially now that it's opened up. It's sort of unfolded itself like origami. But the way that you see it, it does seem strange, yet familiar at the same time. That's the bizarre thing about it. It seems very, very familiar.
Oh shit, this thing is an occipitus. Though it's fucking caging a big ass dog, it's not a person. Am I right?
Potentially.
Can I do a wisdom check to try to remember where I saw this one?
Sure, you can try.
It might also just be Palmet-esque.
I'll re-roll that.
Okay. You're most certain that you've never seen this before. The concept and the design looks familiar because you're certain now at this point that it's dwarven make.
Oh, okay, so it's dwarven rooms that were constructed on this. Okay.
At least the box. Now the gem itself, you're not sure. You're not sure who would have done it. You could investigate further to see if there's any telltale signs, because every artist, they tuck their signature away on things.
I would probably mention, I was looking at it earlier when I was in the church, and it looks to me like the gem itself is of some sort of demon craft. It's pristine, and I don't know what demon would craft a ruby to hold another bad person in.
We've already
another
seen
threat.
Well, I mean, Nab uses diamonds. Last time I checked, he used it to bring you guys back.
Diamonds are different than rubies.
But the cut could still be similar to his.
That's fair.
Well,
when he uses magic, it's usually dust and not solid objects, though, from what I understand.
Bear in mind, these two conversations, while they're separate, they were going on at the same time.
While they're talking about this and stuff, I'm going to kind of survey the area around us at the moment. Is there anyone listening to what we're saying besides us in the room?
Give me perception. Let's see what you find out. It's never bad. You would be among the first of the players that have actually tried to discover this. As far as you can tell, no. It does not appear that anyone is eavesdropping. You even glance out quickly to see if anybody might be listening. Nothing sort of leaps out at you to let you know that Anybody could be eavesdropping or listening whatsoever, short of just yourselves.
Just wanted to be sure.
Well, in any case, we can't really do much with it. As I said, if you really do want to use this for the convocation, I don't mind, but I feel like if we do, whatever's in there is going to be unleashed, and I don't think we're going to enjoy having to deal with that, especially on the day of the coronation.
Also, there's some bizarre breaks in the way that he's speaking. You can tell that his mind sort of hit another place, like a wall of sorts, and something is on his mind. You can see his eyes training on the box repeatedly. Like he keeps coming back to you as a primary thought, but it's like this nagging itch at the back of his mind. He cycles back to that box. His eyes briefly fall over it.
I'm gonna look down at the box and back to him. Is there something with the box you see? You seem distracted.
The carvings I haven't seen before. That could be because whoever made it designed them that way, and he kind of picks up the box. I feel like I've seen this before.
The box?
Maybe back home. I'm not sure. The design looks similar though.
It was, from what I understand, crafted by the dwarf who runs the bank.
Well,
From what I understand, it was of his magic. He was the only one who understood the contraption prior to sealing it away.
would I have remembered seeing something like this design-wise back in my home?
Give me a memory. I'll give you a circumstantial bonus of +4 on top of whatever you roll. Are you happy with that?
I'll re-roll it again.
That's real
I'll
bad.
use my last one.
Okay. Say that's real bad. We don't want that. Much better. Much better. You hit a threshold. I set the DC at 25. Bear in mind, this has been some time since you've been back home. And this would have been something that would have been tucked away in your childhood. So I'm going to give you a 50-50 shot. So give me a 50% range. You want low?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. 1 to 50. 11.
Yay.
You got it. Yeah, it takes a minute to click, but you do remember seeing it. In your father's collection of oddities, he had something that he declared was familial. Come from a different line. A line from a different land. And that part of the family broke away. Long, long, long ago, hundreds, if not thousands of years prior. But you recognize some of the designs, the way that they're hooked. The upper points, they seem to crenellate and sort of blanch back out in almost a flame. Remember, the box isn't wood. It's of a very light stone. Do you continue to go over the box? Like, do you pour over it?
Yeah, I mean, once I remember that, my focus would go back onto examining the box. Like, it would be like my train of thought breaks from Thelsa completely back over to fully examining the box if I can.
Give me a perception. This is one that you want. It's really good. I set the DC again at 25. Tucked within the stonework, whittled very, 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 very small in design. Going up the side of one blanched temple top, it says Auric, and down the other side, Stonehaven.
Oh, so this is from these two then. From the Stonehaven bros here.
You might know that out of game, but does your character know that?
No, I think that was Desmond that was more inclined about the Stonehavens. I would remember it from the deed though, because it did have their names on it.
Yes, it did.
He kind of goes back and Oh, he doesn't have the deed with him, but he would remember the name on it. The name on the deed to the bathhouse had this name on it. Orc Stonehaven.
He points it out on the box. Now, the three of you in the opposite room, they've been back there for a while. It's been relatively quiet. Jakob has been known for not really being patient. Cort, while patient, has been, I don't know, rattled, determined, probably a little stressed out. Do you continue to grant them their patience? Both of you? Do you ask what's taken so long? It's not like Thelsa to go back and ask if something looks like a rash. Why they would demand their privacy is sort of beyond you at this point, and though you've respected it, it's taking longer than you would have anticipated.
I'm used to them kind of disappearing and then just kind of talking, or Thelsa slipping away and disappearing to another city for a few days. Them talking for a while isn't unexpected.
Okay.
So Cort would probably just keep listing the issues of the town.
Oh God, that's a long list.
Yes, it is.
Oh, we have lots of time.
There's lots of problem, and most
Cort
of it
would
befalls.
just be a list.
Most of it befalls on the shoulders, in some way, or at least the tail thereof, Jakob.
Meanwhile, Jakob, especially after the last few days, and them two doing their own business on the side, he, after several minutes, he is going to get up, walk over. I'm assuming since they're in the office, the door is likely shut. He is going to.
It's not shut. It's not shut. It's just been mostly pushed closed. There's probably like a 1-inch gap in the door.
But no, he won't eavesdrop or anything, but he will knock on the frame. Is everything all right?
There's a knock, and you hear Jacob's voice.
Yes, everything's fine. No pressing issues, just something I wanted Ulhime's insight about. And it's not you that we're hiding from here. I just don't really know or trust whoever it was Cort brought in.
Understandable. And he'll kind of push the door open a little bit and kind of lean his head in. Anything I could possibly help with?
Your eyes immediately train on this brilliant, grapefruit-sized ruby.
Jesus, fuck.
Do you know anything about rubies?
Yes, I know they're gemstones, but that's massive.
Yes, it is.
Daniel, perception. This is probably about 20 feet away.
Yeah, you hear Glabrizu go, Jesus, fuck!
That's okay. Not your best roll. Did you want to try to reroll? I think you have 3 rerolls left.
Sure. Yeah, I'll reroll.
Okay. That's significantly better. Almost doubled.
Right.
Cort is rattling on and on and on about the accolades and diatribe of Jacob's issues, the troubles that follow him, and the flurry of bros. When you hear, Jesus fuck, you don't know who Jesus is or why he's fucking, but in this case, you are certain that he's declared this in a manner of either excitement or fear. Now, you know it takes a lot to startle someone that declares that he is second in command of the guard, who is also half demon, has clamper hands that can cut through flesh and steel, and, his
Pretty
dad
much
is a
everything
demon
you've heard
general.
about this. Yeah, 10 minutes.
From where I'm standing, I want to look through the crack of the door because you said he opened it to peek in, right?
Well, I mean, it's the way that it moves. You would have to move forward probably, I would say, 15 or so feet, and then it turns down a stone hallway about 5 or 6 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would have to go ahead and basically sneak up on this, on this Glabrizu and peek over his shoulder to see past the door. You just
I'm gonna roll
he's
stealth.
just suddenly.
I'm gonna try to sneak up behind him to see what exactly like startled him, like you said, of all people.
Sure, give me a stealth. Arthur, thank you so much for bringing yours over. I appreciate that. Welcome in, AP and crew.
30.
Daniel, under normal circumstances, that would be a very good roll. You immediately are used to slipping into a shadowy spot or being quick to your feet and dipping away, but you were literally just engaged in conversation with someone who was looking right at you.
Let's say I'm talking to you.
So, Cort, give me a perception.
So he did the equivalent of the you're right in front of the guard in Skyrim, and then you crouch with the
Yep.
stuff, and they're like,
Yeah, he's just like
Cort,
fade away.
I need to make sure that you roll above a 10 in perception. Because he is
Dude.
engaged in conversation with you right there, he gets a minus 20 to a success. Them's the breaks. That's just how that works. Good Lord. Really?
Wow.
He just gets it. While I don't completely understand the skin of the teeth in this scenario, he just happens to get, he's like, whoa, hold on. Fuck, if I would have blinked too fast, I would have lost you. Where'd you go? Where you going, my guy?
He wasn't real.
I
Holy
was like telling him a story. I was engrossed in it. I blinked, and then he just wasn't there. I was like, what?
You
So
glance
as
over,
that's happening-
and he's quickly like
Oh.
covering ground, making his way to the hallway where Jacob has gone.
To break the conversation with Cort, I'm gonna be like, "What's that over there?" real quick, and I'm just gonna kind of like try to slyly go past him, but he turns and like I guess sees
Yeah,
me.
he just goes, "What's that?"
That's honestly, that is a very earnest question, considering that, you know, all of the things that have gone down here. So you turn to look at whatever damage he's pointing at, or perhaps a body that might be hanging there because, you know.
Look, we have bodies hanging around.
Yeah, you glance over, it's just a wall. When you glance back,
Hey,
half
we
a
got
second
rid
later,
of the stack of heads.
he is gone. He is gone. And you turn as he is approaching behind Jacob.
So
I need
I
a
felt-
perception from both Daniel, and I need a perception from Jacob. I will then need a perception from Ulhime and Thelsa.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
I'll take that.
All right. Everybody is well informed at this point. It takes Jacob a second where he, Jesus, what is this? That's huge. And then Daniel appears. He steps up behind. His eyes transfix on the ruby as well. Then everybody kind of turns. Jacob, you hear him behind you. When you glance back, there's Daniel. His eyes aflit with this royal red glistening from this ruby.
And
Now, Daniel has heard that you are part demon, part angel. He's also heard that the mayor is a beholder. Your dad is the big bad evil guy. And now you guys are harboring a grapefruit-sized ruby in front of a tricksty vagabond.
yeah, while he's got his attention on the ruby, you know, and I kind of like turn and notice him, I'm just gonna go ahead and slam one of those Glabrizu claws like on either side of his neck and like pin him against the wall.
Okay, this is gonna be a called shot here. Here's a quick question. Oh wow, this is gonna be a combat maneuver. I'll
Like a
treat this as a
reflex?
disarm.
How thick is your neck?
I'm gonna give me a combat maneuver bonus against his combat maneuver defense.
Can I disarm his neck?
Now he's about to disarm his neck right there.
He's about to cut both of his arms off at this rate.
All right, combat maneuver bonus.
Disarm them all together.
I rolled a disarm with my sword.
Does a 29 break your CMD?
Yeah, his is 23.
Okay, with the quickness, you feel this pressure from a shoulder, and as you're pulled up against the wall, he pushes his hand forward, and you feel this cold, gritted steel go up against your neck, and when you glance down, it's his hand. Those metallic fingers that are shaped like knives, daggers, butcher's cleavers are on either side of you. And they've just hinted into the stone and sense that you can feel this rock or pebble blanch down over your shoulder. Do you say anything now that you've done this?
Yeah. Hey, partner. Just trying to help you out. It's little interesting that you of all things would scream, so I came over and checked, and doesn't look like you guys have a problem, more of a really big solution.
Ulhime will step up to him, like still making sure Jacob is holding on to him. Who are you?
Cort
It's
will walk-
Silverlight
"That's-
sent you.
That's Daniel.
Most
Damn,
folks-
Daniel, back at it again.
Damn, Daniel, back
Damn, Daniel!
Once
Oh,
this whole
man.
thing breaks out, I would be putting the ruby back in the box.
Sure. You put the ruby in the box.
Did Silverlight send you?
Annie,
Nobody sent me, friend.
as you abruptly turn and you place this ruby back in the box, give me perception. It's a very high perception, bear in mind, but as we've seen today, you've been capable of rolling it. Not high enough.
Lapse in my +8 perception.
Can I reroll?
You certainly can.
Oh, well, I didn't actually mean to reroll that one, but I'm still going to reroll it.
Okay.
I want to go for high.
Spicy.
I don't think
Oh
it gets
my
much higher.
There we go, I got it.
That's
God.
right.
That high
Damn,
enough?
Lord.
Was that good enough, though?
damn, Thelsa,
Yes.
back at
I
it
just
again.
want to
with the high
point out,
checks.
my max perception is 28. His is fucking 43.
An 11, then a 12, then a 20.
He can see a single cell organism split into two. He's like life.
Oh yeah, he just crawled. He walked to the side of that room that he's
No,
in
for a
inside
moment
the ruby,
there,
and he's like,
for a moment there,
"Fuck you
Thelsa sees
for rolling
this
so well."
world of giants connected by a series of tubes
He turns
Rolling
around, his eyes
dice.
just go.
on screen.
Thelsa, as you hastily remove the grapefruit-sized ruby, placing it back into the Stonehaven's workbox, you're focusing on what's behind you, but almost as if it's surrounded the room. A smaller voice, tucked away, hidden in the corner. You're not even sure if it's the corner or it's the ruby itself. You hear cry out, "Please, no, not again."
I shut the box.
I would stop immediately, and then look around for a second, and then look into the ruby, as I'm like kind of slowly rotating it to see inside.
Your perception reveals that the individual inside, tucked away into the labyrinthian ruby, is shaking in the chains, attempting to fight.
Can you hear me? I'd be saying in almost a hushed tone, but not whisper.
Ulhime's perception is similar in yours in most regard, and he's been capable of picking up everything. Even in hushed tones, he'll notice you stop. She mutters something, falls under her breath. Do you do anything, Ulhime?
Yeah, he would stop and he would look back at Jacob. Hold him there for a minute. I'll be
can do
back.
that.
And he walks over to Thelsa and he kind of just bobs his head like, what's going on?
I probably wouldn't pay much attention to Ulhime. I'm trying to look inside this thing to see if it notices me or if it's just aware that it's going into the box.
Not in the box. What's in the box?
There's no response. Nothing. Nothing that sort of makes you believe that it is aware of whom you are or what exactly is occurring to it. But this is the first you've seen it fight back. You hear again. Ulhime, I'll need a perception. And you're out of luck rerolls, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Then it's just Thelsa here. The DC is 40 for the record. This is minute. Something that I don't think anyone else is going to be able to hear. I'm burning. Help me.
I'm just gonna look inside and kind of watch what's going on to him.
How long will you watch?
Probably for a little while. I still don't fully understand what's going on with him, but from what I understand, the peeping Tom is incapacitated for the moment.
You watch, and your eyes transfix. The room is dark. You can only see so much. Do you try to illuminate this any further? Do you cast light? Do you have a torch nearby?
If it's really dark, I would likely cast light on something. Not the ruby itself, but something around to hold it up.
What do you cast it upon?
What kind of stuff is on the table?
If he needs help, I can cast it on my hand and then can just like hold it if that's what he wants. Like kind of like just like with my 3 fingers. If that's what he wants to do. Kind of like a pedestal where I just hold it like that and let light shine through it.
It's your call.
Can I see them?
I'd turn to Ulhime and say,
you
could you
can see them.
Could you provide some light, please?
He gives a nod and then he'll make his hand glow.
With my hands up, I'm gonna like look at Jacob, be like, "Yo, your friend's okay over there? Seem pretty preoccupied."
If they need help, they'll call for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. In the meantime, I think we ought to just go ahead and be a little patient.
So what do you cast light upon?
It would be my hand, my actual hand, and then I would like I said, kind of hold it from the bottom, so the light shines through it.
As you cast light upon your hand, you can see a little bit more inside of this labyrinthian structure as he's holding on to it. But Thelsa, as you were watching, something you hadn't noticed. Where Ulhime's glove touches the orb of the gem itself, it radiates green. Sort of like emerald trees, grass. There is a green that seems to respond to his touch, and he didn't notice it before. You notice this, however, because you're watching very, very closely.
So
The
like
light-
where his fingers are touching, green is permeating into, or
Yes.
is it a green reaching out to his fingers?
There you go. It looks like it's trying to reach out and almost mirror. You know the metallic, or not metallic, but the glass orbs that have the coil
The
inside.
little the plasma ball.
That's sort of what it's like, except instead it's a bit more of a larger shape of green that seems to try to blanch out like tentacles to grab on.
Oh.
Do they continue progressing as he holds it, or is it pretty much
Just mirroring
stagnant?
his movement and stagnant.
Does the man inside respond at all
No.
when he does this?
Nope.
I'm gonna be. It's piqued my curiosity, but I'm still unsure as to what's going on here.
How
It's-
close are you? I want to know. I want to know for reasons. How
I
close
would
are
probably
you?
be almost. It's almost up against my face, close. So a few
New
inches away
perception.
from it.
This is a very different kind of perception skill, but new perception. It's still enough.
I'm gonna use. Oh, okay,
It's still enough.
okay.
This isn't something that you can smell, that you can hear. You can't taste this or see it. But as you're watching very closely, his glove is radiating heat. It's emitting warmth. You're sure of it. It's warmth like a fire.
And there's still no response from.
No.
Weird. Is he holding it like a pedestal? Like, are you holding it like this kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, I'm holding it like with my fingers, like pretty much like
I
this.
would pick it up and then I'd open your hand and place it in the palm of your hand.
Okay.
Place it in the palm of the hand, and You can see it, but he's focusing again from the top side. He's not seeing exactly these outstretches of this emerald green that seems to be reaching out and grabbing onto the shadows of where his fingers once were. But as his hand seems to relocate, they pull back, and it starts to move again to where his palm is.
It looks like something inside is reaching out to touch your hand as you hold it. It's green, which is bizarre.
I could try channeling into it, but that
If
might
you
cause it to
feel
break.
comfortable doing so.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna have the money to pay for the bathhouse, so
Fucking Leroy Jenkins!
I don't know what's inside, but it's screaming to get out. It's very faint, but I can just barely hear it.
then I'll give it a try. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
He's going to channel a pulse of channel positive energy through it to see if it does anything at all.
Okay. How much are you giving?
Oh, like how many stacks of channel?
Yes.
Do it to a die roll. I don't know.
Go for it. Let's see what you
Go
got.
hard or go home.
4.
4 stacks. And what would that look like if you were to channel? How many hit points would that be?
Well, let's multiply that by 4, so 17 times 4.
68.
Okay. All right, friend. This is what occurs here. I'll need a reflex save from Jakob. I'll need a reflex impaired from Daniel. Daniel, you'll just roll and I'll let you know if you succeed. I will also need a reflex from Thelsa.
Yeah, I'm still
And-
going to be looking like point blank into
From
this
Ulhime.
thing.
I'm good outside, right?
Yeah, because, reflex is what I'm really good at here.
I re-rolled my reflex, but it wasn't much better.
I'm going to re-roll mine too. This makes my third re-roll of the night. Yeah, and we're going to go ahead and use that fourth one. We did have 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I used
that'll
my
stick
4
with
as well.
All right, I need to look something up before I do this.
Wait, did I use 3 or did I use 4 rerolls? It was
Pretty sure you used 4.
was
But
it 4? Okay.
If not, I mean,
I
if you
used
can't
4.
remember, then by all means go for it.
No, I don't. If I don't remember, then I'd rather be
err on
under
the
a
side of
reroll than
caution.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
play it safe.
There we go. Found what I needed.
He's like, everyone double dies.
All right.
He's like, make 2 character sheets and burn them.
All right. This is gonna look bad, but I promise everyone should be okay.
It's gonna be worse. He's all,
430 damage each.
it's gonna look bad, but it's gonna feel worse.
The only
It's
person
fine,
to
it drops
succeed.
you all to 1.
The only person to succeed is Jakob. Jakob, you'll take half.
Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody.
It's fine. I just hope it doesn't blind me.
I just hope he doesn't, twitch.
Yeah, just twitch it.
You ready?
Nope, but I mean, you got to roll anyway.
I'm ready.
I want to see how many dice.
Watch you roll all ones.
Woo, that's a lot of die.
That's a lot of ones.
It is a lot of
Good.
ones, but it's also a fair amount of 4s.
Yeah.
20 d4 of damage. If you failed, you take full. It doesn't matter if you have the feats that are going to allow it. This is something that you can't do anything about. 47 damage at full. Rounded up, it's going to be 28. Yeah, 28.
24.
Well, is it 20? Oh, you're right. Excuse me, 24.
Yeah. Don't
So-
make it worse than it is, damn it.
Forgive me. What occurs the moment that you channel this in? Two things happen. First and foremost, Ulhime, you realize the moment that you expend these channels immediately, the hubris of this idea. Your arm shatters instantaneously. The plates of your metal arm spiral, ripple, and then immediately burst out. But that's not where the damage came from. For a brief moment, this grapefruit-sized ruby hovers in the room. And spectral chains whip out, searing the walls, lashing over everyone. They go past the walls. They go through the walls. They maintain no physical form, but as they lash out and just whip repeatedly, 20 spectral chains whip out in arcane form, lashing at anyone within range and distance. This would have killed
this isn't
lesser men.
Yeah, this isn't like destroying physical objects. This is just striking like our being. Like it knows like it's people around.
Correct.
They're basically ghost chains.
That's fucking crazy. But
Now,
hey, can you give me 2 of your arms since you ain't using them?
problematically, when the dust settles and the debris of the room being smacked off of the wall, though it had no physical form, it seemed to even hit the inanimate objects, shattering all of the beds, leaving these scores and lash marks across the walls, tearing through your armor and your clothes alike. You see bits of Ulhime's arm as it seemed to place down on the ground in various spots. But as the dust has settled, the 4 of you glance around, because the 5th one is missing. Ulhime is not there.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna
Ulhime.
look at.
Yes.
Friendo, you're in a very different place. This is not comfortable. It is not home. No, you're staring at something wholly different from the inside. Before you is a door inside of this labyrinthian maze with a glazed red that seems to pour over absolutely everyone. You see shadows around you. They dance. You know immediately that you are inside the ruby. But as you continue to look up, you hear that scream. The one that Thelsa discussed. Save me! Save me! Please! A man, bedraggled with hair, draped over his face. His body in shreds. He seems ancient and old. You have no arms. None. You are a torso and legs and a head. Your
you could
eyes
say he's been disarmed.
Your eyes still radiate gold. And as you find yourself falling over the top of him, there's something that is strangely familiar. But as your eyes watch, he bleeds in and out of material existence. The chains that are attached to his body, they have to reseat themselves every time he cycles. The hooks draw up under the wing of the arm, tearing at the armpit, rending the flesh back. You hear the suckle of it pulling away at the muscle. Hooks reconnecting to his thighs and hamstrings. Blades penetrating his feet. You have never quite personally experienced a demon's hold before, but you are certain this magic isn't holy. But this man before you, as he weaves in and out of material existence, fluttering between a ghostly apparition and an ancient human. He cries out for your aid. His head slumped over. He can no longer hold it from who knows how long he's been here. Do you approach the figure? Do you maintain your distance?
No, I mean, if I see that he's in trouble, I don't know if there's like a timing to seeing what happens, but I would see if I could run at him and then try to push him out of the way of the chains, so that way instead of him getting bound, I could do it.
Sure. You leap with your armless body expecting to bump him away from this. And nothing occurs. You launch yourself right through, striking the wall. Pull yourself up to your knees. And then you stare from the backside where you can see his legs being rended and split apart, his back being lifted, the blades, his shoulder blades literally tearing from his body before they reseat themselves in his apparative form, and the hooks sinking back in parasitically.
You said he was familiar. What's familiar about him?
You're not quite sure, just something about him seems very familiar.
If I have a belief that this is a demonic hold, at the very least, can I try calling down a smite to one of the chains or channeling
When
positive?
you attempt to pull that divine energy to you, you are completely cut off.
Okay.
You have nothing.
Okay,
In fact,
so
it's at this point that you look down, and you are
yeah.
entirely naked. You are armless, naked, and afraid, because you have nothing. You have nothing but your immortality as you look upon a man that has hung here nearly as long, as far as you can tell, as you've been alive.
All right.
His head hangs and he whimpers. It hurts, please. I can't deal this any longer. Please.
Outside of, you said it was a labyrinth of within the gem, right?
Yes.
If I have to, I mean, I guess I would enter it. I mean, to see if possibly going through it would somehow free him. I would try doing that. Especially if I can't I can't interact with the chains or him, right?
I mean, you're not sure. You don't have arms. You don't have hands, and you still haven't even bothered to speak to him personally.
Okay. Then I'll do that. You there? What is your name? Who are you?
I'm a ghost. Figment.
How can
The
I help
voice
you?
Sounds even more familiar. You're certain that you've met this person before at some point in your life. You just know that you have to see his face.
I would walk around and try and get closer. I mean, assuming that the chains haven't done anything to me.
You can't seem to pull through the hair because you lack the appendages to do so. You do what comes natural. You move your head up under this draped, fitting set of furled hair, gray and matted from blood and age. And as you kilter your head up and you look, your eyes meet his, and you know that you know who this is. And as it hits you, he says his name at the same time. I was Surabah Spellmason.
Oh shit.
And that's where we cut tonight's session.
No!
What?
Okay, I kill him. I'm just kidding.
No. I cast Enfeeble.
Kill him dead. Damn, that was
you're
intense.
muted.
Holy shit. I thought you were gonna say Desmond at first, and I was like, I don't know if I met Desmond, but that would have been just as sad. But that's just as worse. Makes sense for the big ass gem though. He's a powerful homie.
Oh, now there's two people.
Oh, this is gonna suck.
I mean, we also.
I'd let you loose, but we kind of killed you.
I mean, we also kind of have someone currently in the Brizu Butcher Claws. There's also that happening.
Well, I mean, that he reflexed away.
Yeah.
He reflexed away. I hope everybody had a great first session back. I know that at points it was probably a little difficult trying to get in your 10 cents, but I hope that it was enjoyable, one, for the players, but two, for the audience. If you were a long-time listener, watcher, well, this has been a large lead up. So I hope it was good. The thoughts, hit me with them. You know what? I'll be right back. I'll entertain those thoughts in just a second. So, BRB, you guys can have access to the audience. I'll see you in just a second.
I blame Jared. Did I do okay? I felt like I was like,
No,
I
you
don't
did
know. No, you're good, dude.
Yeah, you
No,
did good.
man,
weren't-
you
weren't
actually
combative.
you did real good, especially staying in character with everything. It's I especially loved when you were like, "Hey, I know you guys were talking about having a lot of problems, but it looks like you got a big solution."
Right?
I was telling Sniper it, but when you took my coin pouch, we were saying chat was mentioning how it's a oh, you took an empty pouch, ha ha ha. And I was like,
Yeah.
it's a really good thing you gave that back because that had like 116 gold pieces in it.
Jesus.
So
Yeah,
it's
It was
really good
hefty.
that you didn't look in the bag before giving it back.
I was like, oh damn. I was like, I feel so bad. I was like, maybe I should just give this back to him. He's being so nice about it. I was like, all right, hey, you dropped this.
Court's
I
like,
never thought that a
"You
thief would
stole my
feel
money.
bad
You want me
about
to buy
stealing
you a
from a
burger now?"
retard. You
That's what I'm
know?
saying. He's a catch and release thief. He steals shit from people. Like, oh, here you go.
And thank you, chat. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
It makes him look like a good guy all the time.
I'm still a little
Yeah.
nervous, so bear with me as I try to settle in with everything.
Yeah, another big thing is that this is heavily related to story, and since you're new, the best you
There's
can
a
do
lot.
is try and input yourself, but you can't tie yourself in with the previous story
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
already happened,
Let's
kind of thing.
let's be honest. There's a lot of backstory that you're just suddenly jumping on top of. But trust me, if we can deal with your brother and his dad jokes, you're perfectly
Right.
fine. So long as you don't cut any dad jokes, you're fine by me.
Let's
No,
be
my
real.
char-
Okay, we're all dogging on Ronald, but you gotta give him something here, okay? Like Ronald can carry a game. He might say the worst fucking jokes in the world, but he's done good as far as the RP goes consistently. So it's,
Oh yeah, I mean, and I love how he and I play off each other.
I think you did just fine. I mean, you had a lot to work with there that you had no idea how it was even gonna function. Plus,
Yeah.
If nothing else, you've been caught up to speed as to what all is going on in this city.
I think
Yeah, that was.
I think once we get like 4 or 5 more sessions down, you'll have a flow for your character, and it'll just be second nature.
Yeah. I gotta stop saying the partner part though. That was. I caught myself slipping when I said it the second time. I was like, shit. I was like, should I take it back? I was like, no, we'll roll with it. We'll fix it
You
later.
said it, and me and Bub literally started laughing.
Yeah. When I said it, like I saw you guys like smirking. I was like, they know.
They know. They know.
Hey,
it's true.
Pard, it's okay.
Did the gem fall down after this, or did it stay floating for a while?
It's floating.
It's
So-
still floating.
It's still floating.
Hmm.
So I can roll fighter now. I have no cleric levels, guys. It's okay. I can re-roll. I'm gonna be a monk instead. I can use my legs. I don't have to worry about arms.
Christy,
or
let's
You're
call
a kickboxer now.
let's call tonight's title Disarmed. Disarmed. Yeah.
No, unarmed.
This was a good way. This was a good way to come back. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm curious who was right. Who thought that this was Surabar Spellmason?
I
Me
thought
and
it
you
was
say
one of
that?
the founding fathers.
yeah, we said. I think me and Annie were talking about it. I think before we were like, it's
Or
got to be one of the founding people.
mother. But yeah, and I was inclined the entire time, knowing it was some sort of demon craft, that this was
Yeah.
some good person.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was Nabthatoran that made this.
The sad
Maybe,
part
maybe
is,
ordered someone to make it, but
The
I don't
sad
think he
part
was
is
this strong.
something tells me that if Jacob got his hands on it, he would be able to tell if it was similar to the other stone that he stole off good old dad.
We're gonna
Oh,
have to
yeah.
figure out some things for next week. Not because we're gonna be missing a bunch of players or anything like that, but it's gonna take you guys some time to, 1, figure out how to remove them, but 2, figure out how to acquire the items needed to remove them.
Oh, you know what I think it is? I think the shackle, the tri-headed shackle. I think you have to drop a gem through it, and then it releases whatever's in there. But because like when I did it the first time, it disintegrated just my hand because there's nothing like bound to it. You know,
Your left arm was made of that
Is-
hell metal, correct?
it was like it was like a platinum, but it's fucking gone. It got obliterated.
Get out of
Well,
me.
no, because
Also, it unraveled and it exploded, so there's something there, maybe.
As of right now, I actually have no
Sniper is
deeded connection.
he's moving in a direction. It may not be the right direction, but he's headed in a direction that might help.
He's going, but
Yeah,
we don't know where
Yeah.
he's going.
The fact that you're immediately thinking about something that is outside of the city, that is the direction you need to go. The element that you need is gonna be outside of the city.
To the demon scar, boys. We going back.
I just don't think we can move this gem because, I mean, I don't think it's just gonna float along like Nari.
Dude, look, we hire a guard. We get Moishi, right? Just be like, stand here, watch this.
Oh
I'm
yes,
just
gonna- Guys,
let's put a blind kid with no tongue in charge of it. Sure, that
Can
makes
I-
total sense.
Can I just put the box on it, like close the box around it, and leave it there floating in the middle of the room?
Well, all you do is you just take a jar and you just put it on top. Then you just
Well, I can use the box that I got because only I can open that.
Y'all killing me.
Or
I'll
you
have to,
just
like,
throw
come
a
in and
blanket
see a
over and
box
let it
floating.
just float there.
yeah, I
you
like
know?
the idea. We just throw a blanket over it, let it be a ghost.
Or-
Seasonal.
Just in case somebody strange walks in, you could just move like, I don't know, a bookshelf under it and be like, yeah, we're remodeling, fuck off.
I'd like them to come back to the office.
Honestly,
and it's just a random
greatest-
misplaced bookshelf in the center of the room.
The greatest security system to our bathhouse is our reputation.
Yes.
No one wants to be near us.
100%.
It's people. just
nobody
not
wants
wanting
to go there.
associate
They're
with
like,
us.
hey, I noticed that every other place in here is warded against fire, demons. They're like, except that particular
Yep.
place. They're like, why? Like,
It harbors all of it.
Yeah, no, can you imagine? Can you imagine the reputation? Like, the townspeople are like, I mean, they're not there. We could just go rob their riches. Like, yeah, but like, there's a
Don't.
demon witch,
It's
there's
like,
a
yeah, but
one-armed
don't,
god.
don't.
a devil thing with weird
You remember
legs.
the worm that came out of there?
And scariest of all, a 19-year-old. Okay, how is a 19-year-old hanging out with this crew? He's got to be a badass.
a 19-year-old with a weapon and no parents. They're all, what's more dangerous?
And to be fair, the weapon that I had was as big as me, and Cort's fucking big.
Yeah. Like, even
He's
if
basically Cloud, man.
even if we upgraded the entire city to be magically warded and we left ours alone, people would still not want to go in there. They would be like, they're like, one person came out, suddenly became immortal. Another person came out with went in with 2 arms, came out with 4, and then at one point he was blue. He had some weird hairstyle going on. The other kid has a scar
lost
across
his
his body
stomach.
now.
True enough.
Um,
It's like one time I watched this half black guy, half spider walk in. It was the weirdest thing.
yeah.
I didn't even know what happened. I was like, what the fuck is that? And Homer was like fucking ambling his way in. I don't even know what's going on.
Hey, do you guys remember that one night they sent a bunch of fucking people in there to raid it, and only one of them fucking left?
We'd never have to worry about
Yeah,
the children now
dimension
because they know
Malfi. Oh
that's
my
where
God.
they know that's
Oh.
where the demon witch lives.
And the demon came out one day and I overheard him talk. He was bragging about banging a butterfly. I don't want to fuck with that crew, dude. They're too real.
Dude, and even worse, the mayor's okay with them.
The
what?
mayor occasionally shows up. The head of the guard occasionally shows up. Sasha occasionally shows up.
We forgot to drain the bloodbaths.
Sasha's going to be the first person I bring in
know what I'd
because
love-
of the whole
you know
cock goblin situation. I know she likes puzzles.
You know what?
So,
you
she
should
does
do?
the
puzzles,
Absolute
yeah.
worst thing.
What do you mean a retired assassin's after them? What do you
Imagine-
mean they're all working together now? What do you
Imagine
mean the end of
being-
the world is happening?
What do you mean every element has tried to fight
Yeah,
them?
that's
the,
my favorite
The
one right
ice
there.
giants, the fire giants,
What kind of bathhouse is this?
a giant worm.
I just want to say, imagine not living in the bathhouse, but being the house that's across the street from the bathhouse that has to
That would be
witness
No,
this.
Those are the
Worse
people
yet,
that died first when it
guys.
came to the invasion.
Guys, I hate to point this out. With Ulhime no longer there, Jacob's kind of in charge.
That's not true.
I don't know about that one.
None of us will ever fall under your charge.
Hold on, I can actually figure this out. There's actually an order to who's in charge of the
Before
guild.
you do that, because I know this conversation could go on for a long time. I did want to take a second to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Our first night back, it's good to see that everybody had come back and brought some new faces along with you. Remember, we want Shackled City to grow. And the only way that we can really do this is if you come back every time, or at least you try to, and if at all possible, you attempt to bring as many people back with you. Go grab some friends, tell some discords, let some people know. Sure, it's a long way to jump in. We're not saying like, go start watching a TV show, season 7, episode 14, because we recap in the weirdest ways, and we are pretty pretty quick to sort of help people along the way. But I do appreciate you for coming in. Thank you for all the subs. You guys gifted 4 luck rerolls, which is excellent. I think we hit 22 subs tonight. Fantastic. Thank you guys for that. It keeps the stream alive, and that's important. Also, there is the Patreon. Make sure you guys go check out the Patreon. It keeps the stream alive, keeps the dream alive. We were really close. I know that it's still early in the month, so we're pretty close about swinging back into just over 2K, but it takes a little bit of time. We'll get there again, no doubt. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Make sure you tell your friends. And we're actually gonna cut. We're gonna cut right here. So I'll check you guys in the Discord. If you're not already following all those social places, come back and chill with us in the Discord. I'm gonna pop on over there, and well, we'll have a good sit down. So I love your faces. Do what you do. Stay safe. Stay nerdy. And I'll catch you cats in the Discord. Peace. We're out of here.